Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and in this game once again we're seeing Isen and Zock visit Setons. Isen playing middle with Cybran, which is quite ballsy to do that, going just one land factory, very aggressive build. And he is taking on Suspect here. He's got Seraphim. Suspect, a really good Setons player, so Isen perhaps a little too courageous. Of course Zock on rock here, playing with Cybran as well. On the air they got goatlust, one of the greatest Setons players ever, definitely top 5. He hasn't really played Setons lately, at least I'm not sure if he has, but in his prime could beat anybody. And here pavese, also Cybran, so 3 Cybran players up front for this top side, and pavese kind of outgunned here against Fritz. Fritz going with Seraphim as well, so a lot of Seraphim versus Cybran here. Definitely take Seraphim over Cybran on this map, unless it's really aggressive. So Gala here, HB Gala, very good Setons player, across from Dim playing Beach, and we are seeing 3 Sarah versus 3 actually completely 100% Sarah here for the bottom side, and Pulpy, not exactly who it is, but most likely Tinuk, plays like Tinuk, could be Sith, but definitely a very good player. Good match for Goatfest. We are seeing Zock not going with the first bomber, getting some mask structures tech 2. Very early tech 2 here, and you can see PGens around. A mask structure usually takes 60 power but only takes 46, so it's almost like another PGen. If you build the PGens around a mask structure, multiple mask structures going to tech 2, and now second air from Zock coming up minute 3 is picking up those rocks. Gala here just with a single factory, also taking a mask structure tech 2. He's going to get multiple air factories, but it doesn't look like he's going to challenge for the island. Quite late air, and of course early on the most important thing is what happens in the middle, and it looks like both players brought an engineer. And Isen doing quite well here actually, but such a weak ACU for Cybran. And we'll check the final numbers. Good move here from Suspect, taking out the engineer. The engineer for Suspect still alive, trying to avoid the ACU. It's going to give a big advantage to Suspect. So far an advantage to the bottom side in terms of how much mass. Pavese being very aggressive here. Actually, it looks like my challenge for the island, but Fritz, definitely a competent Setons player. Whenever you see him on your team, you know that spot's going to be fine, unless he's taking on somebody really good. You can see here mostly air factories from Pulpy, and that's because the Seraphim air factory is the fastest at producing engineers. Here really late actually here from Zock. 3 engineers and 3 Manti. If Gala challenged for this island, he probably would have had a chance, but Zock must have expected Gala to just go for a very eco-intensive build. You see multiple 4 T2 mask structures going for the 5th for Suspect. And now Suspect picking up the last mass, and let's see here at minute 5. Suspect has reclaimed 7,000. Isen 7,000 as well, so dead even in terms of mass. See a really sneaky tank here with 3 kills from Suspect. Let's see what it can do. Both players really impressive mass. So there's still a couple of chunks of mass here, but for the most part even. Surprising Suspect is not picking those up. The middle has been abandoned, and we are seeing an upgrade now for Suspect. Now the fight that I will focus on, and I don't know how long this game lasts, is going to be the one between Gala and Zock. Looks like some pretty aggressive stuff here from pavese. Not really a Setons player that I know of, but playing pretty good. Although very hard from Beach against Rock against Fritz. Not too many land factories, an air factory here from Isen, so very surprising from Isen. He does have quite a few T2 mask tractors. He's got 6, going for his 7th, so a lot of teching bet. And a tech 2 land factory going tech 3. Isen going for a tech 3 land rush, which is crazy, because in ACU here you can't really avoid going through the choke point. The ACU with the gun will absolutely demolish tech 3, but we'll see how that works out for Isen. Isen completely abandoning in the middle now, and of course abandoning in the middle means cruise missiles from the middle can reach your entire base, and your cruise missiles can't really do too much damage. So Isen doing strange things in terms of overall strategy. Now we're seeing a drop here, an engineer drop from zock. It's just going to be in the water. 6 engineers, perhaps some naval factories are coming up. Gala is known for making really nice drops. He's just going to start some naval, Tech 1 Navy. Nice Tech 1 air spam to protect against any drops. And 6 Tech 1 naval factories here for zock. So a good thing about doing this type of deal with engineers is that your ships don't have to go all the way across the ocean, which is pretty obvious. Not too many land factories here. Very conservative land spam here from Suspect, but it's definitely enough to push Isen back. Isen getting an upgrade on his ACU, getting some Tech 2 point defense. He's got TMD, Cybran TMD, very good, and this factory is very expensive. Also some Tech 2 flak. Some nice units here from Isen. Isen has still 7 mask extractors. He's completely given up the middle. Suspect already has the cruise missiles. Yeah, but 9 minutes is when you can get this with Tech 2 engineering and cruise missiles. But of course Cybran TMD, that's one advantage that Cybran has, is very effective. You can't really shoot over it, and it's the one TMD you want to have against ACU missiles. Actually, that one gets through. So there goes one mask extractor. Isen now moving out. He's got the gun. That could be very dangerous. Multiple mask extractors now destroyed. You got to get that TMD a little closer. It's just too far away. It will protect all these, but can't protect something so far away. Take multiple shots to take down the missile. And now this is now a fully functional naval production. Gala, no doubt, saw that. He had plenty of planes here. Has got a whole bunch of naval factories of his own. He's taking one to Tech 2. Doesn't look like zock will be able to outspam Gala here in this type of position. Both players Tech 1 Air, Tech 1 Navy. And now Isen in huge trouble here with the gun against Tech 1 Seraphim, trying to dance his way out of it, and dies. Let's see if he finishes Tech 3 factory. He did. At least he did that, so that's good. But not that impressive from Isen. He did get good mass. He was very even with Suspect, but pretty standard play here from a Seraphim Settings player. Not enough units for Isen. Now zock gets double base. This is why you always want to play Settings with give, because if this was no give, this would be game over, and we wouldn't have this great replay. So it should be obvious to people, but not always obvious. Here's a Tech 1 drop from Fritz. Some artillery there. It looks like he's got air domination, so definitely an advantage for Rock on the bottom side. There's a 3v4 now. Goatlust has double RAS, T3 engineers, and now he's going to make some scouts. Double RAS for pulpy as well. Already making T3 power, making ASF. It's very even in terms of the air game. Zock looks like Zock is just upgrading. He's making a resource allocation on his ACU as well. He's got some Tech 3 mask extractors. But yeah, now his factory at Tech 2. We're seeing destroyers from Zock, some cruisers. But really, you gotta say it is a disadvantage for Zock. He's gotta put a whole bunch of his build capacity, see all these units into the middle. He did get a couple of mask extractors from Isen, but to be able to balance two sides like this is very difficult. Dim used to be a master. If Dim gets double base, the game is over. You might as well stop playing, but you gotta get used to that. But perhaps Zock is a great player. He can do this as well. And now we are seeing the Cybran destroyers with a superior range, a range of 80 versus a range of 60 here. Nice cruisers, a whole bunch of submarines as well. Actually, there are no cruisers. I don't know what I'm talking about. But this should be a loss for Zock. I don't see how Zock can do much. Multiple destroyers coming out. Destroyer for Zock has been destroyed. An ASF protection for pulpy. We don't see any T2 bombers yet, but Zock definitely in a position to make some T2 bombers. Doesn't look really good for Zock. This plan here If zock loses this naval battle, he basically loses his naval production, which is not what you want to happen. T3 torpedo bombers now from Goatfest. He's going to try to save his team. Perhaps he's going to try to snipe suspect. Probably take a few more bombs. I think it's 4 against the Tech 2. And these bombs are going to hit the ground. Suspect's got to get out of the water. And nearly dies and gets out, and he's going to face some bricks. And these bricks, oh wow, that's amazing. Excellent work from Zock and Goatfest, forcing suspect out of the water into a bunch of bricks. So Cybran Tech 3 worked out in the end for Eisen, so sorry for questioning him. But we gotta say that was a huge gamble for Goatfest, putting a whole bunch of eco into those T3 bombers, but somehow he still has about the same number of ASF, but that looked like the micro there failed him, and T-Knuckle, whoever this is, has just taken air. So a big loss for the top side, no more air, and especially with the Cybran Navy, that's very dangerous. And mostly cruisers, to cruisers and destroyers. That's kind of crazy. Purely destroyers from Gala. And now these bricks are running in, they're going to do some real damage. T3 land, so we're going to see bricks versus Othams, but still 3 bricks are alive. Of course, with air control, we are seeing a big gunship spam, Tech 2 gunships, and no flak coming up, and very strange, a whole bunch of bricks and a few flaks as well. You got to get those flaks to the bricks as soon as possible, and see if Goatfest can take care of this massive air spam. Multiple Tech 3 power generators. Now the bricks versus Othams are going to turn into really nice chunks of mass for pulpy. We see the T3 bombers for Goatfest moving in, try to help Zock out. One of those caused quite a bit of damage against the destroyer. Cruisers, Zock leading with cruisers. This is very strange. Why would he do that? Big mistake there from Zock, and it's going to be devastation against yeah, he's got some stealth here, but really doesn't have the units to do anything. He's about to get ran over. It's going to be a lot of mass for Gala. And now yeah, flak has caught up, so these gunships are going to be neutralized, but they should have given Pulpy plenty of time to make some T3 tanks of his own, perhaps a couple shields with these as well. The bricks won't be able to do much in another air fight. And it's so difficult to catch up with air once you've lost it the first time. It looks like Pulpy is going to hold on. Some aggressive units now, a whole bunch of submarines from Pavese moving in, but a very even fight here. Fritz, plenty of destroyers. And now we are seeing Zock get ran over. He's got to be thinking of plan B here, because he's going to have cruisers in this ocean very soon, taking out his naval production, so he's got to be doing something. He's got Tech 3 air. Perhaps he can build a new naval production, but that's climbing a uphill battle. He can also think about getting an experimental in the middle, put some pressure, experimental with a bunch of flak, put a lot of pressure on the bottom side, try to win it before Gala completely takes over the ocean. But one thing to note, engineers for Zock here are going to get a lot of mass. This is where all the air fights have taken place. And there goes Zock's naval production. So, interesting idea, but that's very difficult to execute. Very easy to defend against if it's spotted early on. You just make a bunch of T1 factories of your own. And this is going to be the beginning of the end, it seems. Some T3 power for Zock. Perhaps he's thinking of a teleport snipe. That's kind of a desperation move, but could be effective. Gala here on a double RAS as well. Plenty of power, which means if he gets T3 land, he can get some mobile shields to put on his navy. A big Tech 1 bomber attack. Looks like he's targeting the mass extractors. We are seeing some drops from Gala. It seems perhaps these are just going to move out to pick up all this mass. This is where the naval battle happened. Plenty of mass there. People should always have engineers and transport standing by to snatch up the mass after any kind of battle. You've seen a battle, you get a transport with a bunch of engineers loaded up and wait for the battle to end, and you'll get the mass. That should be standard procedure. Kind of like putting mass extractors or mass storage around your T2 mass extractors. Zock getting these upgrades. A lot more build capacity now on this Tech 3. Looks like he's going to get a couple Tech 3 power, but no Navy. So it looks like Zock has decided to give up Navy. Or perhaps he thinks he can't really do anything about it. Now T3 tanks going through the middle for Pulpy. Zock retreating with his bricks. And not much happening here in this ocean. We do see some transports. Going to meet a very bad fate here against the cruiser. Never want to fly our transports over a cruiser. Scouts now for Goatfest. Do we see any nukes or anything like that? We're seeing a nuke now from Pulpy. And perhaps some drops. Tech 2 transports. He's got plenty of capacity to make T3 tanks, which are excellent to drop on people. Now let's see what the composition of this Navy is. Tech 3, perhaps some battleships, cruisers. No, this is still destroyers. It is kind of mind-boggling that destroyers are still being produced. But better be safe against Zock. But a whole bunch of cruisers will be very devastating. And Tech 3 land just running through the middle, Zock retreating. And Zock, yeah, I completely missed this, nearly done with the Mega, and that's going to make things interesting. This is where Zock has decided to put most of his eco. There's also a T3 radar here, would be a great target for some bombers. A Mega could make it interesting. Pretty even fight here in the top ocean. Although perhaps if pavese can get an advantage, it would be very... Yeah, it's not going to happen. We got T3 submarines here coming out for Fritz. And one problem with the Seraphim destroyers, they can't shoot over small ledges. You can't dodge them, but you can hide behind terrain against them. Mega nearly complete. Looks like a spider is going to be built as well. We should see a chicken very soon here for Pulpy, because he's got to get a plan against this Mega. Otherwise, it's just going to walk through the middle, supported by a whole bunch of flak and bricks, and a spider following up. Of course, this Navy now for Gala has finally made it to Zock's position. Cruisers now. This should be a massive cruiser spam. Yes, both factories making cruisers. And so much reclaim here for Gala. And now Tech 3 submarines are going to win the Navy here for the tops, for the bottom side. You got to keep our eye on this nuke, which is completed now. Getting some missiles. So you can see on settings versus 1v1 games, it's the strategic decisions really that make the difference, not the 1v1 micro, which can make a huge difference on a game like Theta or smaller maps. Here you got to choose a strategy against the player. Here Zock chose the strat, aggressive Navy, and that can work some of the times, but out of 10 times it might work twice. And really pretty easy for Gala. And you can see the last of Zock's destroyers escaping onto land. That's really the last place for it to go, trying to survive, but it won't. Of course, the Mega here for Zock. Don't really have too much hope for it, but it's definitely a good army moving through. Yeah, good looking force here for Zock. Definitely don't want to put your gunships over so much flak. And all these destroyers just went underwater. That's the Seraphim ability. We're seeing Zock losing a whole bunch of his mass extractors. Anti-nuke for Zock, so Zock's still playing. He's got a couple of T3 powers, shields. And now we see a battleship for Gala. It's going to make things very difficult for Zock. Do we see an experimental? Yes, a chicken has been finished. And actually a chicken is quite good against the Mega. If you can get the chicken all the way to the Mega and die right next to it, you can kill it 1v1. But of course these bricks could be a problem, but they will be neutralized by all these Othams. Perhaps some shields. Yeah, shields not coming out for Pulpy. Pulpy doing everything right. It's very interesting to see actually some staging, some repair and refuel for T3 Air Force of Pulpy. Pulpy sitting here in the little pond. Perhaps we'll see some telesnipes for Zock. That's exactly what I'd expect from him eventually in this game. Now the Mega taking a little time to take care of a little bit of Navy problems, and a battleship now for Fritz. Total retreat for pavese. He's got to solve his problems. He's got T3 Navy, and he's making T2 submarines. The T2 submarine's not very good against T3. Of course, a harms here. This is a great weapon for Cybran for defense, so very good against T3 subs. But very hard to be aggressive with the torpedo launcher. But it is possible. Do we see that spider? That spider, yeah, spiders also got built. So two experimentals moving through the middle. Pulpy is just gonna stay in the middle. Probably want to have this fight here. Under his shields, he's gonna give up that whole top side. No problems with that. Now Zock is gonna make his way into the pond. Really trying to get that anti-nuke up. And this nuke is now, it's actually another nuke. So two nuclear launchers now for Pulpy. That's a lot of stuff that he's made. This has got to be T-Nuck. This is probably T-Nuck. Some T2 RD drops for Fritz. And now Mega is going to use his range. So Zock probably knows how to micro this. This is the one advantage for Mega. It can outrange the chicken. It shoots from far away, knock down the shields. Bricks moving in as well. Going to take out some mass extractors. Some scouting from Zock with ASF. You can see the defense here. It looks like a whole bunch of TMD. Of course, TMD is not going to protect against the battleship, which is on its way. Energy storage, yeah, definitely Zock is planning to go for a telesnipe. Mega is retreating, waiting for the spider perhaps. Second chicken about a third of the way done, and support here from Gala. Multiple battleships moving in. 14 kills on the Mega, 4 on the spider, and the bricks. T3 bots moving in as well. A whole bunch of scouts now for Goat. We might see yet another ASF fight. If we do, it's going to slow the game down a lot. And a lot of anti-air here from both sides, Flak and Navy. Looks like some of the scouts did get through, and they will see a whole bunch of nukes. 2 nukes. Yeah, there's some nice Tech 1 bombers. Tech 1 bombers, 10 kills here. 26 minutes into the game. This is still a very good unit. And this chicken, this spider is suicidal. We get this close. Mega retreats, so not a very organized attack here from Zock. Spider runs away. Mega is taking a lot of damage from these battleships. Actually quite nice there from Zock. Pulls back.
He's trying to get Pulpy to get out from underneath his shields. Pulpy doesn't do it, which allows Gala to put a lot of damage on this Mega. Mega's got to keep moving and changing direction. Second chicken done, which basically means there's no chance for Zock to do anything through the middle. Not with this type of support. It's going to be two nice chunks of mass for Pulpy. Or we might just see these two chickens move out, put an end to this. First kill the spider, and then kill the Mega, then reclaim the mass. We're seeing T2 versus T3 battle here. Battleship T3 subs versus cruisers, destroyers, and T2 subs. Should be a clear victory for Fritz. We are seeing cruisers versus TMD for Zock. And in the middle, here are the two nice chunks of mass for Pulpy, and both chickens survive. Zock realizes this game is lost. Now Strat Bombers for Pulpy. Want to see these nukes get launched, but looks like a lot of eco has gone into making those experimentals for Pulpy. These nukes aren't being produced nearly as fast, and this is teleport protection here. If Zock wanted to fly in here, to teleport in here, he would get killed. Gala is also going to get himself some teleport protection. Pretty big plan. This is going to be, yeah, this is mass fabricator. So Gala going for a massive eco. That's kind of crazy. Mass fabs when there's all this mass to reclaim all over the map. Another Mega being constructed by Zock. Gala wants even more mass. And the NG is being dropped directly onto Navy. Perhaps they can capture some of these frigates. So after 28 minutes, basically total domination by Gala. But would like to see a couple more games with Zock versus Gala, because this one Zock just made a huge strategic error. They really so did Isen. If Isen didn't lose like that, put a lot of pressure on Zock. If he wasn't Cybran, if he was Seraphim, it pushed Suspect back perhaps, which would be very difficult. Suspect very good middle. This game could have been different, but at this point it's just pretty ridiculous. That's a lot of missiles. See it from far away. All the different battles. Perhaps we'll see another ASF fight. Haven't looked at Goldfest for a while. He's got a nuke of his own. Anti-nukes, a whole bunch of power. You can see this T3 power generator with all that mass storage or power storage, making 3,300. The regular one makes only 2,500. So all this mass storage nearly making another 1,000 mass for him. Zock working on his teleport. Looks like he is finally working on the teleport, which means all his shields go down, which means he's going to start losing units very quickly. He's still trying to spam TMD. That's a lot of Cybran TMD. But now the battleships are moving in. Doesn't look like this Mega is going to be finished, which means these chickens just going to run everything over. Where are the nukes? Are they almost done? Yeah, this nuke is nearly finished. And we did see Strat Bombers, but it doesn't look like Pulpy continued to making them. He's been making ASF. That'd be one way to turn this battle if suddenly Goldfest won air and just bombed everybody with some Strat Bombers. But that would be very difficult to do. Now we are seeing Pulpy move out with his Air Force. And if this air fight happens, it's going to be very, very slow. some point I'm going to get a new computer. Perhaps this will go a little faster. Zock pausing and unpausing his ACU not to completely kill his eco. Chickens protected by Navy moving in. And really no way back. We see Strat Bombers not being produced by Goat. Snook, no nukes yet. So we'll see what happens. Perhaps teleport for pavese as well. Yeah, he's going for a tele as well. This is a bad place to stand right next to a T3 power generator. So if there's two telesnipes from the top side, that'd be kind of interesting. Let's see where this nuke is going. Strat Bombers against chickens. Looks like it's going toward Goat Fest, but Goat has an anti-nuke. It isn't loaded yet, but it is about to be. So perhaps a wasted nuke by Pulpy, but it's always nice to check. It would have been really close. Perhaps if he would have launched it just a little earlier, I think he had the chance, but he waited. Strat Bombers versus chickens. And now we're about to see Zock begin to lose his whole TMD arrangement. Somebody once said that it's easy to defend against Seraphim cruiser with TMD. Might not be a case in this type of situation. Chicken's now moving in towards Zock. Zock nearly finished with his tele. So is pavese. But of course, Settlers players like Pulpy, Fritz don't really get tele-sniped. They either sit it in the water or they sit next to a whole bunch of point defense. Kind of like here for Gala. This is not where you want to fly your Strat Bombers over a whole bunch of cruisers. Surprisingly, Zock's surviving. Yet another nuke launched, this time yeah, this one most likely will get through this anti-nuke if this is in fact where it is launched. This will be a great target for Pulpy. And it appears that this game is over. Not really sure why. Perhaps somebody quit, whoever uploaded this replay. Perhaps it was Goat. Let's see, where is this nuke going? Follow the red line. Yes, that's exactly where it's going. And this would really devastate Goat Fest. There would be all of his power, maybe even the ACU, and no anti-nuke. So this game is over. Nice try by Zock, but standard play from Galactic. Did everything right. Won the game. So hopefully people enjoy.